everyone. Thanks for clicking on my video. My name is Scott Lubisher with Truck Paper, and today I'd like to take a few minutes to discuss the day cab truck market. I'll be sampling a few key slides within our monthly sales market reports. However, you can access the full day cab report by visiting truckpaper.com and clicking on Get Market Reports at the top of the page. You can also visit auctionvalues.com and once again click on Get Market Reports at the top of the page. While on Auction Values, feel free to search the largest database of auction results from the industries across truck, construction, even farm equipment. It's a great resource to familiarize yourself with past and current auction values across the markets of your choice. Let's dig into some of the reports today. So, interesting enough, in the day cab market, what we're seeing out there is a sizable decrease in inventory. About $50 million of inventory has left the market within day cab. So you see Freightliner, the largest volume of assets out there, is nearly $25 million, had left the market out there. Everything has inventory leaving the market except for Western Star. Looking at this kind of a little bit more in detail out here, I think it's valuable to note that the inventory that had left the market equates month over month to about 7% on average. That 7% was capitalized by the Southeast region and the West. So the Southeast lost about 11.9% and the West lost about 9.9%. South Central as well as in there at about over 10%. The unique thing about the loss of inventory out there is we start to see a lot of times the supply and inventory will affect the prices out there. We're starting to see a little bit of that. So asking prices month over month were up about 0.4%. So we're seeing a little bit of reprieve from some depreciation in those prices out there. And the auction values I'm more excited about is that the auction values are up about 2.3%. One of the key things is when you start to see auction values increase, typically retail values will follow that. That's a big piece to look at because auction values are more real time and that's where the market's actually reacting out there. A couple other key metrics on this page that I like to comment on is that overall, out of about nearly 17,000 day cabs that were on Truck Paper, we saw about 3,900 of those leave the marketplace. That's about 23%. So although we're only down about 7.3% in inventory, 23% of it left out there, which leaves us about 16% inventory added back in. So there's a nice fluid movement of inventory in and out. However, we're still at a 7% deficit in terms of inventory in the marketplace today. So take a look. This page is pretty valuable. You can look at it per your region and kind of see what's happening in the market out there, the average prices, the average changes year over year. Month over month is what I would be focused on right now, just looking at these distinct changes in the marketplace. Finally, looking at the chart that kind of shows a big view of everything, historically from 2015 all the way into 2025. So the green line represents the inventory in our marketplace, and the blue line represents the asking value out there. So let's go back into about 2020, middle of 2020, COVID hit. We were a max supply in the inventory, set to be removing some of that inventory from the market already, and prices declining out there. And when that COVID hit out there, it basically took our inventory levels down and shot our retail prices up. So we hadn't seen a low like that before in terms of day cabs in the marketplace, but we were around 7,000, 7,500 day cabs in the marketplace, and that had a distinct effect going from 7,500 from about over 20,000 trucks in the market. That put a ton of pressure on price. Our average price out there was somewhere around 34,000 at one point, and then we jumped all the way up to just about 50,000. So moving forward, that historically is good to see because what happens in the past has a tendency to happen in the future out here. So what we're seeing again is we've seen a peak in inventory that happened in the first, second quarter of 24, and then it started to kind of decline. Now we've seen that decline really starting to kind of fall off that ledge. This last month, that 7% decrease is a pretty substantial decrease to talk about, but you'll see the leveling that it's had in the prices. So as I mentioned, we're about 0.4% up in retail, which is just kind of a leveling factor, but there's 2% plus gain on the auction side. So it looks like there could be a little momentum there. At the very least, we've got stability at today's market price. In conclusion, the The day cab inventory decreased 7.3% month over month, while asking prices are steady with a slight uptick this month. Auction prices are up a little over 2% month over month, so this is a reassuring sign of some stability in the day cab market. Typically, less supply in the market will strengthen pricing, and that seems to be holding true currently. Our monthly market reports are chocked full of valuable insight like this across all of our major markets, especially the truck and trailer categories. Remember to visit truckpaper.com or auctionvalues.com and click on Get Market Reports to sign up for the full monthly market report.